rights organization. But when it comes to ads, people can't resist them when they feature dogs or cats.
What's your dog? He's just having one of his dog days.
That's according to a new international marketing study. Researchers say adding a cat or dog to a commercial makes people more eager to pursue the product or pursue a goal, and people are more willing to take risks when making a decision. They say that's because pets remind people of the stereotypical temperaments and behaviors of pets, and plenty of companies have picked up on this, like Microsoft and Wells Fargo, as many of the companies' ads featuring pets. You can find the study in the Journal of Marketing. Switching gears here, police are searching for the suspect in a fairly disgusting attack. In the subways, investigators say a woman was sitting on a bench on the platform of the East 241st Street station in the Bronx last Monday when the man ran up and threw human feces at her and then ran away. You can see a photo and video of the suspect at 1010wins.com. If you know who he is or where he might be, cops ask that you give them a call. 800-577-TIP. Well, today is your final chance to earn $100 for getting that first COVID vaccine shot. The city's vaccine incentive program ends. Mayor Adams relaunched the incentive more than 2 weeks ago in hopes of getting more residents vaccinated and boosted. The end of the program comes at a time when COVID restrictions are easing. Governor Hochul announcing the mask mandate for schools ends Wednesday, and Mayor Adams is expected to announce the same for the city schools for Monday, March 7th, as well as the vaccine requirement to enter restaurants and other indoor venues. Wednesday, time 6:51, traffic and transit. Here's Greg Wright.
Well, the ride right now leaving Queens is getting a little worse right now. Eastbound side of the Long Island Expressway, it's a very tough ride from right around the area of the Cross Island Parkway over to New Hyde Park Road. Looks like you got some sort of crash on the eastbound northern state just east of Lake Road. Once you get east of the Cross Island, Long Island Expressway can get you into and through Nassau County in better shape. Eastbound B3 getting up to the Williamsburg Bridge, they're getting rid of that broken down truck. Westbound still loaded from the L line right on back to Castle Plaza. The cost of the earlier wreck in the area. Here's what you need to know about bridges and tunnels. Citybound side of the George, good enough to the upper lower. Getting out of town, the southbound needs the best of it, so by default, it's the Duck route you can trust. Lincoln Tunnel and Holland Tunnel themselves into the city, they're fine. You leave Manhattan, fine for Lincoln and Holland, but out of the outbound Holland, be careful. The outbound Skyway is still abysmal. To the south Cardigan, the westbound Newark Bay extension, that's much better. The westbound Newark Bay, that's another Duck route you can trust. The traffic is sponsored by Duck. What is it that makes you uniquely you? Well, Duck doesn't think that's any of their business. Business of any tech company. Protect privacy online for free with Duck. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report is 7:01 on 1010 Wins.
Now, the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Well, Monica, it's going to be a mostly clear start to tonight. We'll have a few more clouds working their way in late. Low 28 in the city, closer to 20. Temperatures. Tomorrow we'll have more clouds and sunshine. It will turn out to be a breezy and milder afternoon. High tomorrow to 48 degrees. Well, got to the mid-40s. And even a bit milder Wednesday with sun and clouds. It will turn breezy with a high of 52. Brisk and chillier for Thursday, despite some sunshine, high 44. And it'll be a Friday. We'll have a local deal of sunshine and a high around 38 degrees. Going down to 28 tonight. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station in Glen.
Wednesday, time 6:53. Research points to a link between exercise and reduced risk of Alzheimer's.
Preliminary study findings suggest working out may be the key to lowering the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Researchers in Washington, D.C. took a look at older military veterans and found those categorized as the most physically fit were 33% less likely to develop the disease compared to those in the least fit group.
Correspondent Naomi Rusham reporting. The Alzheimer's Association reports that an estimated 6.2 million Americans ages 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's. Without medical breakthroughs, that number could more than double in the next 25 years. Certain health conditions in adolescents could be linked with faster aging in adulthood. That's according to a new study that finds, for instance, if you were obese, smoked, or had a psychological disorder in adolescence like anxiety or ADHD, you might age faster than your peers as an adult. The study was published today in the journal JAMA Pediatrics. 40% of the world's population is highly vulnerable to climate change. That's according to a new report released today by the UN that warns it is now taking action against government and corporate pollution. The irreversible damage already done to the planet will only get worse with even more extreme weather events.
This report by the world's leading climate scientists is released just once every 8 years, and it's pretty grim. It says the impacts of climate change are accelerating, we're not adapting to them quickly enough, and we're running out of time. The report says the planet is now facing increased risks of intense and extreme heat waves, droughts, wildfires, and floods that are already impacting billions of people. Now, climate change is also taking a huge toll on the natural world with massive losses of forests, coral reefs, the world's ice sheets, and some animal species.
Correspondent Ben Tracy, Wednesday's time 6:55, Bloomberg Money Watch coming up next.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contract. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 30 easy steps, you'll see how much you can save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
Exogen agrees with an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate and continually fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Use Exogen thermometers, backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exogen. Learn more at Exogen.com.
Wednesday's time 6:56 now, Bloomberg Money Watch.
The Dow's been part of today in correction territory, meaning at least 10% below its most recent high, as Russia's invasion of Ukraine put more pressure on the market already sliding in the face of the strongest inflation in 40 years. The index is partly recovered, late. Dow ended lower by 166 points. NASDAQ rose 57. S&P 500 lost 11. Amazon workers can go maskless if they want, starting tomorrow. The company says face coverings will be optional at its U.S. operations regardless of vaccination status. Amazon will still recommend that unvaccinated workers wear masks. As governments and employers roll back mandates, there's a fresh reminder that as good as it may feel, we are not out of the woods when it comes to COVID. Citigroup's annual Investor Day meeting set for Wednesday, starting to change of plan. It's going virtual again after 2 members of the senior management team tested positive for the virus. Bloomberg Money Watch is 26:56 past every hour. I'm Andrew O'Day for 10-10 Win.
A while back, we at AmericanEagle.com were asked to build the e-commerce site of a major candy distributor. With the need for a website that could take into account everything from shipping times to local weather, because, candy melts, the task was not like taking candy from a baby. Fortunately, we live for a good digital challenge, and free bonbons. So we got to work on a slew of complex integrations, including a shipping algorithm that factored in variables like distance and location. Events like weddings or, major website launches. When all was said and done, our client enjoyed a significant increase in traffic, which we were also well prepared for, and an increase in average order size. A sweet result indeed. For complex e-commerce sites, digital marketing, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar. This view was worth the hype.
What? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yeah, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive results should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com. WINS, WAW.
An Odyssey station. All right, AccuWeather says mostly clear, brisk, and cold tonight. Some cloudiness overnight and a low of 28 degrees in the city. Closer to 20 in some inland suburbs. 33 degrees right now under partly cloudy skies in Central Park. More people get their news from 1010 Winds than from any other radio station in the nation. Zachary Newman is our service aide. Walter Geist, the writer, and Tina Kakar, the editor, and I'm Monique Coppola.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Winds, New York.
33 degrees and partly cloudy at 7 o'clock that evening. I'm Lane the Garden, and here's what's happening. 14-year-old boy Pakistan Any new developments in Russia's war on Ukraine? Ceasefire talks were met by a Russian missile barrage. The U.S. is expelling a dozen Russians assigned to the UN mission. Russian teams have been suspended from all international soccer. The NHL is suspending all business deals with Russia. New York's business community and city school kids reacting to the mayor's move to sunset major vaccine and mask mandates. Major League Baseball players getting angrier with management as the two sides fail to get a deal yet before another owner-imposed deadline today. Tonight, the Nets host the Raptors, the Devils host the Canucks. AccuWeather says mostly clear, brisk, and cold this evening. Some clouds and cold overnight. Low 28 in the city, close to 20 in some inland suburbs. Wings News Time 701, traffic and transit. Here is Greg Rice.
Oh, good evening, Lane. Trying to get you out of Queens. Not easy. Eastbound side of the belt. Looks like you got trouble right at the split to the Southern State and Belt Parkway. It's rolling into the area from right off of Sunrise Highway. Eastbound Northern State, not perfect over to Lakeville Road. They're getting rid of a wreck, but it's better now. Onto the eastbound Long Island Expressway, transitioning into Nassau County. East side of town, northbound of Harlem River Drive. A couple of lanes are knocked out getting up towards the area of the 3rd Avenue Bridge because of a wreck. The northbound of West Side is better. And the eastbound B3 before the Kosciuszko Bridge up to McKinnon Boulevard, you got a broken down car knocking out the left lane. Here's what you need to know about bridges and tunnels. Citybound Georgia fine, southbound D, best of it out. Lincoln and Holland in pretty good shape. Traffic is sponsored by the Twin Island Paradise of Antigua and Barbuda. Are you ready for an amazing getaway? Well, an amazing getaway is ready for you with the Twin Island Paradise of Antigua and Barbuda. Escape the cold this winter. Contact your travel advisor to book your trip or go to their website. Visit AntiguaBarbuda.com for more information. The beach is just the beginning. I'm Greg Rice on 1010 Winds.
The latest in Russia's invasion of Ukraine ahead. But first, a 14-year-old boy shot this afternoon across the street from Boys and Girls High School in Bed-Stuy. We're live at 1010 Winds reporter Carol Bailey. Scenes in our
It's probably a good bet that this boy is coming out of school. He does attend Boys and Girls High School, which is on Fulton Avenue in Bed-Stuy, which is where I am right now. The shooting was about a half a block away. The shots were fired at 2:45 this afternoon. Right here. The bullet blew out the glass in the bus stop shelter that's right here. At this point, the police think the 14-year-old was an innocent bystander who told them that he heard the shots being fired and he suddenly felt a pain in his foot. One of the bullets had hit him in the ankle. The police told me that he has no prior arrest on his record in any way. So at this point, they're going on the assumption that he's an innocent bystander. There are a lot of police officers out here. The area is roped off, but so far the police have not made an arrest. Carol, the area 1010 Winds live in Bed-Stuy.
Winds News Time 703. Ukrainian President Zelensky says Russian troops have intensified shelling of civilians in his country, calling it an effort to force his government into making concessions during talks that were held today. The president says Ukraine is not prepared to make concessions when one side is hitting the other with rocket artillery. Talks went on, though, for 5 hours, yielding no breakthroughs as Russian troops draw closer to Kyiv. They were focused on a possible ceasefire, though there would be no firing at all had Russia not invaded its sovereign neighbor. The European democracy at its border that has gone in a very different direction than former Soviet dictatorships to the north and east, now seeking to squash them.
Pleas for peace in Ukraine dominated an emergency session at the United Nations, while hours of diplomatic talks between Ukrainian and Russian officials in Belarus ended without agreement. Both sides said they would try again soon. As blasts were heard in Kyiv, Ukraine is seeking a ceasefire and the complete withdrawal of Russian forces. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced he has signed Ukraine's application to join the European Union. It's a mostly symbolic act that normally takes years to achieve, and his country hasn't met the required benchmarks, but it signals a desire to draw closer to European allies. For their part, the 27-member EU bloc voted to provide aid and weapons to Ukraine, and EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell says officials have been meeting to figure out how to organize the flow of support, which they say will be coordinated with NATO.
They need the defensive purpose arms of any kind, and we're going to provide them.
I'm Jennifer King.
The International Criminal Court at The Hague says it will open an investigation into the Russian